Okay, I know this is not the first time you've seen someone promising you or showing you how you're going to get coaching clients for your business. So this is simply a Google Doc, me walking you through behind the scenes our exact system to be gaining 5 to 10 new high ticket clients every single month without complicated techie funnels, dancing on TikToks, or blasting a bunch of cold DMs, so that I have a reliable business that affords me off the grid trips that I can actually enjoy, like this. In the past year, we scaled more than 15 coaching businesses here at Dream Life Marketing. My name is Hannah Hermanson. I'm our CEO, and our mission is to partner with coaches who are tired of doing everything themselves and want to bring in 3 to 5 clients consistently, reliably, knowing they're going to pay a lot of money every single month. Within the last year, we scaled our portfolio of coaching businesses with folks like Allison, who's added an additional $73K per month, Leslie at $50K months, Angie hitting $52K months in just 3 months of working with us, and Kate here's now at $26K per month in just 4 months of working with us, and Gavin, $45K months as coaches. And the best part about this, as I've already mentioned, is not just the numbers on the screen. I want you to know that, of course, living your dream life takes money and you want clients coming in and paying you well. But the best part about it, and what I'm committed to, is this freedom and spaciousness that our coaches get to enjoy because of how they're scaling their businesses. So not only is Leslie hitting 50K months, but she also has time and energy to land and host her own TED Talk. She just started dating again, and she's traveling with her boyfriend. And this is a picture on the right of her and her new pet, Zara, at their new lake house, which she just bought. All of these things are happening simultaneously to scaling her business, and this is what I love. Same with Nadine. So Nadine is also traveling the world here with her dog Wiley. She's staying at Airbnbs across America while being invited to speak on stages bigger than ever because her business is thriving. And Allison also living her best life, taking beach trips for herself with her girlfriends, and she just spent quality time in Italy with her entire family, again, while her business is growing, and she's seeing that 73K. In addition, she actually has the energy and bandwidth to enjoy it. And that is what we're all about. So here's the secret. Now, the reason why I showed you all of that and those screenshots and all of that is because I know that the market right now is full of gurus who want to sell us these shiny strategies that are hard to do and end up wasting our time, money, and energy. So I'm showing you all of this because A, I want you to know that there are real people working this system, enjoying their life, and thriving as coaches. But most coaches still don't know about this system. So the few who are using it are making a lot of money with almost no effort. And there are only 3 components, well, really 4, okay, but the 3 components we're going to talk about helping you achieve this lifestyle today fall into our system. There is a 4th that comes in, but you really only need to know the first 3 components of our system to start getting clients. The 4th one is about fulfillment, so that you're actually able to have a business that can receive 3 clients per week here like Kristen without panicking about how you're going to help them see a transformation and how much work is this going to be on me as a coach. We definitely are going to look at fulfillment, but for today's purposes, we're just talking about getting new clients. And so the 3 components of our system, it's an acronym that stands for Connect, Engage, and Offer, which are all the things you know you need to be doing in order to sign a new client. But our system is also committed to positioning you as the real CEO, not as someone who's down in the marketing weeds, but as the true thought leader and expert and leader of a company that you are. So this is the breakdown, and this is our CEO acronym. Again, it stands for Connect, Engage, Offer, and it positions you as the CEO. Now, you know you need to be getting traffic, attention, eyeballs to your business. You know you need to get leads, qualify people to see if they're the right fit for your programs, and you know you need to be selling these leads. This is nothing new. I just want to show you our general breakdown of how we get people to become qualified, ideal, dreamy clients. So the problem is not that you don't know these things. The problem is that most coaches struggle to do it all at once. That's why we end up paying expensive agencies or buying leads or doing all these other things that are just going to fix one piece of this. And I'm someone who ran that rat race for 7 years. I'm going to share a bit of my story today so you can know that this is all coming from lived experience. You know these things. It's about simplifying it and putting them together. And I see two types of coaches right now who are trying to figure this out, who are trying to put it all together for themselves. And the first one I call the hustle bro. So this is where you're stuck in the organic grind. You're trying to do everything yourself, sending DMs, looking for leads, networking, hustling around just to get sales calls booked on your calendar and see if you can, run them through a consultation script to convince them to be your client. Or on the other side of the spectrum is the siesta girl. And this is where you're just trying to manifest clients. And you're just sitting back and letting the universe bring you whatever comes, whatever goes, goes. And I know this because I've lived this. As I mentioned, in the past 7 years, I've spent more than $150K, as you likely have too, on courses, coaches, gurus, and masterminds just to figure out this simple system. So I'm saving you all of that headache and getting you the most simple solution that I've been able to see with a lot of experience in the coaching industry. And I know this because I've done it. So in 2019, I was working in a multi-seven-figure coaching business with these bros, great guys. And back then, we were doing all the things that bro marketing is getting a bad rap for today, honestly, before they were even trendy. We were blasting cold DMs on platforms, we were running ads to free challenges, building fancy funnels, convincing people to buy on long sales calls, and paying VAs every single month. Even though they didn't make any sales, we just needed to keep the lights on, posting content on all sorts of platforms. So don't even get me started on this sort of idea, thanks to guys like Gary Vee, who tell us we have to do that. We have to keep feeding the machine and just post 5 to 10 TikToks every single day if you want to grow on social media or have an audience or have a personal brand. But I think we all know what happens when you do that, and here's evidence of me sitting in my apartment in 2019 burning out like a candle. I was talking to 30 prospects every single day in the DMs. I was taking 9 discovery calls on average every single week. And at the same time, I was handling client success for over 100 clients. Now, as someone who started in the coaching industry as a health coach, and you can see I'm not even taking care of my laundry at this time, I felt very out of integrity. I wanted to work the system and I wanted to figure out sales and marketing, but it took a lot out of me and I didn't feel in integrity. Every single month was like this new fight. We just had to, play the numbers game and keep our head above water, hustling for leads and sales calls just to keep the game going. I ended up quitting because I started to hate coaching and I burnt out and I needed to be taking better care of myself. Yeah, success came in numbers, having a multi-million-dollar company, having hundreds of clients, but the big trade-off was my peace, energy, time, and happiness. So I swung to the other end of that spectrum and I created this siesta girl phase name because that was me, and I just needed to take naps, and I was so burnt out that I looked for mentors or people who gave me relief. And I found these easy and convenient ways of marketing, like networking or these referral schemes, which were basically just like, if you email your list, I'll email mine, and it never really went anywhere. It honestly felt like a pyramid scheme. And then I was, working with people about like a launch life where you don't have to work most of the year, just these few months, you really have to build something. And don't even get me started on launch life because I think about NASA and it's just gonna blow up in our faces if we don't have a budget to literally build a rocket. But then there was like event stacking, again, like hosting summits and using your network and like doing all of these things to co-create stuff together that really all relied on the law of attraction, which is great, but there's a lot of inconsistency in that. Just sitting back and waiting and hoping that my people are gonna fall out of the sky or fall out of some podcast interview also burnt me out. So the last thing I did in this phase, because I really didn't want to go back to doing all that hustling myself, was paying expensive agencies to do things for me. And that ended up feeling scammy because then I was like reliant on them, and I don't know, you've probably had some of these experiences yourself. I'm just saying that all of this, both extremes, the hustle bro and the siesta girl, left me in a place that was really frustrating. It all felt outdated, unreliable, and unpredictable. So in this phase, I had really long sales cycles. I had all these lead magnets and events and things and freebies that I was making that were leading nowhere. My calendar was empty because I wasn't actually booking any sales calls, which felt good for a little bit, but then that also meant I didn't have new clients to be bringing momentum into my programs. Plus, I had this increasing overhead of unnecessary hires thanks to a disjointed system and some bad advice on delegating from a mastermind. So I felt stuck. Like, okay, if I just become better, I was like in this healing phase. If I just become better at DMs, or if I just become a better human, more people will attract to me. So many things felt wrong with me. But things were coming to an end, and old clients' contracts were winding up, and I realized I had no way to replace or retain them because referrals were really my only way of getting new clients. So like I said, I felt like I wasn't good enough. Then I started people pleasing and just doing weird things, like making all these random offers, just kind of bending over backwards, which is very bad for sales, rather than being an advocate or a leader. And because of all of this chaos, I had a moment at Walmart when my card was rejected because I had insufficient funds on my credit card to just get groceries, that I seriously wondered about going back and getting a job. But it's man, how can I have learned so much about coaching and marketing and dream life and still be in this position with credit card debt? I also at the time quit social media because I was just looking for mental clarity. There had to be a better way. So I left social media, and that was good for my mental health, but when I came back, I felt so far behind. It turns out with a personal brand, if you don't use it, you lose it. Things move fast in today's marketing space. So if you're watching this and any of that resonated with you, then you're somewhere in between the extreme hustle bro and the extreme siesta girl, like I was. So if you're watching this and this is resonating, then your offer is probably not scalable and you're stuck doing one-on-ones or wondering about your program a lot. And you can go 1 to 2 months without getting any new clients. You're charging between $2,000 and $4,000, but you know you're worth a lot more and would love to increase your prices this year. And again, you're either doing that organic hustle, pitching and posting and doing all the bro-y things, and you're not getting any engagement. Or again, you're delegating these things and trying to have other people do it for you, but then you have really high profit margins because you hired VAs or other people to take care of things. But in both of these instances, we come from a place of scarcity, right? We're just kind of harassing people and looking for folks who don't actually want to become a client. We just want our people to come to us. So you feel like you have to do everything, become a better person, do more, do better. And if you do have help, most of our clients have very unreliable teams, and they're honestly hiring and firing and rehiring constantly, which ends up again being inconsistent, unstable, and unscalable. So the North Star, the dream life side of this and where we want to be are the real coaches, are real CEOs that we work with. Real coaches and actual CEOs, great coaches who are actually running businesses are doing these things. They're charging $5,000 to $10,000 upfront per client, so they have huge profit margins and easy fulfillment. Again, these are things about the program that are essential to look at, but they are committed to also making sure they have 3 to 5 clients comfortably every single month, sometimes even weekly. And this gives you money to be investing in ads. Here's the deal. Even though other coaches are not as good as you, all these guru marketers who call themselves coaches, they are more successful because they can reach way more people. I've done the research. All 7-figure coaches, whether they have a system or ads running, have a way to be bringing in people to their world all of the time. Even the business coaches who are out here saying, do organic, do events, do webinars, they're also running ads. I've done the research. It's pretty wild how many ads are saying, don't do social media and only do this. But the truth is that's how we find them. So they get to spend their time being in front of an audience of buyers and working with happy clients. This is about being a real CEO and treating your coaching mission like a business. And it's about having a system that brings in clients, gets them great results, and supports a team. So this all can pay for itself, and you can be living in your zone of genius with a business supporting your dream life. Now, when I made this shift and I decided to be an actual CEO and I implemented our system, I was able to start working less. Now, of course, we have flexible schedules and we can work as much and siesta as much as we want, but to actually be mentally available for things like being out at sea with my girlfriends and there for my friend when she was in labor with her first baby and taking my facials and taking better care of myself than ever, I like to do races, hanging out with my family, taking off the grid vacations, truly no laptop. All of this is only possible because I know there's something supporting me. My business is humming in the background of my life, not in an anxiety way, but in I know this is working way. Plus, of course, we're always available for our sunset walks every evening. This is not about sacrificing all day, every day to a lead generation game or whatever other shiny object that is new and trendy. Plus, we had the monetary abundance and the ability to move to a new city and buy our vision board home. You guys, I have had a pool on my vision board for my entire life, so this is a big deal to actually have the abundance and the time to do these sorts of things that have always been on the vision board. So here we go. How do we get clients who come to us? Well, it's our 3 simple stages, starting with C, connecting. And this is about lead gen, okay? I've seen all sorts of things when it comes to lead gen. The hustle bro mentality when it comes to lead generation is sending cold DMs. And we're all over it, right? We know it's super time consuming. We know you have to just settle for anyone. You're just out there hustling. It's hard to close these people because they don't know you that well. They're literally cold. So then you end up having to be a salesperson, right? That was me on the floor of my apartment, just trying to also be good at sales conversations and DMs and all these things that we're not coaching. Or you've got a VA or outreach specialist who's doing it for you, just nurturing your inbox, but then you've got overhead costs, plus you have to be managing those people. And if you've done this route, I know too, how frustrating those weekly hiccups are. And this is where you end up firing and rehiring people because it's just a bad process. And if we keep doing this, it's going to damage our reputation, puts you in front of the wrong people, and it makes you question everything. This is when you're so in the weeds and it's am I even good at this? Where are my people? Why isn't this landing? And you have to take all those cold sales calls, which are just going to exhaust you. So you're inevitably, just like me, I burnt out because I ran out of money and energy to keep that machine going. Now, the other thing that people are telling us right now when it comes to lead generation is the other organic way, where you want to be spending hours making lead magnets and quizzes and shooting this hope content, these crazy reels like renting Airbnbs, just hoping to go viral. So you end up spending thousands of dollars on copywriters, VAs, social media managers, and all this tech to make this content game work for you. But you actually just end up becoming this event host or an influencer, right? There's a big difference between someone who has retreats and hosts a thing that people come to, or people who have amazing content and they want you to help them, they want followers to love their content. Neither of those things are coaching or for a high ticket program. We're going to talk about having events and stuff, but spamming organic content, just trying to get butts in seats, is really also attracting the wrong people who are just going to like it but can't afford to pay for your transformational program. And again, if we keep doing this, we're really just hoping people find us by accident, not really qualified yet again. Yes, these things are nice to have, and if you want to have an omnipresence and a visible personal brand, great, but you also need to have the marketing system behind it, right? Because if we're just stuck up here trying to be cute and trying to make content all of the time, then this ruins our conviction as a CEO because, again, we're acting like influencers. Plus, you're still going to wake up every day not knowing if this is ever going to work out. Is today the day I go viral? So then you fall back into those other things like taking one-on-ones or making different offers or trying to host a quick retreat just to make some cash. So the CEO coach doesn't do any of these things, okay? We're not desperate. We don't try to force people through the door. We exude authority and have people coming to us and filling out applications to speak with us. And you really only need 2 things to achieve that come to me energy. First one, the right message, and the second, a system or vehicle that helps you get that message to thousands of people. So let's craft the message now. You've likely seen this before, and it's very straightforward and simple, but for coaches, this is the heavy lift. This is not always easy for us to see and know when we're inside the box helping people with all sorts of things, maybe even nuanced like mindset things. So I do want you to write down these 7 notes and answer them to the best of your ability, but I also know that you've probably tried this before, so we're going to talk about how we might be able to help you. But first and foremost, identify your target audience. Then, what's their biggest pain, thing that keeps them up at night? Then how do you help them remove it? What is your unique mechanism to solve their biggest pain? Next, their dream outcome. What is that one thing they really, really want and you can promise? And how are you going to help them achieve that dream outcome? What's your unique way of making sure they get there? Next, identify a specific segment of your market that can afford paying a lot for your program. Now, I see this a lot, especially with like career coaches. They want to be working with unemployed people, right? They want to help people get a job. But your job is going to be a lot easier if you're actually working with people who have money. So there could be an opportunity to be not just thinking about your messaging, but also your specific segment of the market to make sure you're not just banging your head against people who don't have the money for you. Then we're going to find out where they hang out so that you can record the message, and this is the vehicle that's going to get it out to them. So this is a simple video of you just talking to the camera, usually 30 to 90 seconds long, talking this out. First, calling out people who can afford your help, then hooking them with the pain that they feel. Next, letting them know how you help, what's your unique thing, and then give them a way to reach out to you to get help. And we're going to actually post this as an ad on social media. This is where most people do ads wrong. They think they're going to sell something. They need a freebie or a hook or an opt-in or some like value to give away. Well, the way that we do ads are simply attraction-based. We just want to be in integrity and tell people, if you have these problems, I might be able to help. Go ahead and give me a follow. And this is our approach to ads on social media. When Gavin did this, he recorded that one video with very clear messaging to only attract that specific group of people who can afford his high-ticket program. We turned on the switch and he doesn't even think about it anymore. He just has new people coming in and sales happening on the regular. 3 new enrollments and that $45K a month. He even went off the grid to get married, so he couldn't even do anything for 2 weeks. All he did during that time was show up and enroll clients because he had so many people attracted and coming into his world. That's $45K worth of new clients for just showing up towards the end of the month. He would never be able to see these numbers or have this lifestyle if he was trying to make content in Canva all day, or he was sending cold DMs at his wedding, or if he was worrying about who's going to sign up to his webinar when he should be worrying about, where's happy hour on his honeymoon. So the way that we do this depends on your platform. So if you're on LinkedIn, let's talk about that for a second, because on LinkedIn, we don't run ads. Instead, we have software. This is Leslie. She had a CRM full of people from LinkedIn who needed her help. You can see the dates that all these people are coming in consistently and regularly. So LinkedIn currently limits you to 100 or 200 connections per week. 100 if you don't have Sales Navigator, 200 if you do have Sales Navigator. But we are able to connect you with 900 of your ideal clients every single week. We actually have a super top secret software. I'm going to tell you right now, it's called ULink, and you could go Google it, but you're not going to find it because it's an invite-only software, and this is exactly why we know it's going to work, because of the level of exclusivity that we have with it. So the same thing happens on LinkedIn. We just use ULink instead of ads. So you're still going to craft your message and record the video. It'll be a little bit shorter on LinkedIn. So then we can launch the campaign in ULink and watch the leads come in. Now you're set up to move through the rest of the CEO funnel because we have all these new people coming into your world. And if you are already posting content on Instagram or on LinkedIn or somewhere else that we can send people, great. You're simply going to get thousands of new eyeballs to your content every single month. And the CEO coaches who do this are able to attract the exact type of people who can pay them. Plus, they're able to now think about creating content that they want to talk about from the position of a thought leader, not just for going viral or being consistently out there. This is about being an actual business owner because you have a consistent flow of attention to your work, plus You can even think about getting an A+ team to help you with sales on commission. We're going to talk about that later. So as you can see, you can travel more, you can set it and forget it, go for your honeymoon, have more time for yourself, and be focusing on your zone of genius. This is what this is all about. I want you to be coaching, not worrying about these things. So we automate this and we do it with you together. This is not a course. This is not just an agency who's going to do it behind the scenes for you. Here's how we do this. And I did this because I have been you, and I've been in the agencies, and I've been in the courses, and we need to do it a more strategic way for this to click in coaching businesses. So we are going to give you a couple of videos to help you understand how everything works and show you the data on the best messaging that works for coaches in any niche, health, career, nutrition, business. Then you're going to jump on a call with either me or my business partner and our head of growth, Ore, to decide on the messaging that you want to go with and actually script this out and nail the answers to those questions about your ideal audience, about their biggest problems, about how you solve it. So Ore is going to help you nail that message. He manages all of the ads and connections for our clients, and you're seeing the results here. And so we sit down with you one-on-one and we script this together. This is why our clients are able to get such good results, because we don't just pop you into modules and say, good luck. We hold your hand so you don't make a mistake. Doing it together is going to help you move fast, but it also helps you learn how to do it without us. So if you want to grow and know how to manage future audience growth on your own and make money and do different ads or even start different businesses, great. This is learning client acquisition while building a client acquisition system for your coaching business. So we're also going to give you the tracking sheets and standard operating procedure documents to help make sure that you're not only within like the KPIs that we're going to set, and we can track your numbers here and make sure we double down on what works, but you'll also be able to rinse and repeat this on your own. So we focus on the data, especially when it comes to connecting. Coaches have lots of ideas like, okay, well, I think I need to say all these other things. Well, we're just going to track which messages convert and make sure that you can double down on those. The whole point of marketing is not to reinvent the wheel all the time. It's to find what works and do more of it. So we'll make sure that the system is working for you and that you know how to keep running it yourself. So now that we have connections coming in and you know how to manage that, now we need to educate or nurture these leads. Again, you've heard of this, and the old ways of doing this is to just post content, right? Have things on your profile, create things for them to experience, and that can work, except for most coaches, they don't know how to actually post marketing content. This is our client, Amanda. This is on her one-on-one call with us to build her content. So Amanda came in, she had been posting consistently food blogs and recipes and tips for her email list and her Instagram, but she was stuck just giving free value. And so that meant that the feedback she was getting was that like 1 or 2 people were liking it, and then she was just in front of these folks who couldn't actually afford anything more than a free food blog. She was creating quizzes, lead magnets, all these like freebie things that, again, her audience liked, but it wasn't actually related to her offer. So she was writing these emails that no one read, so she had long sales cycles. She was promoting low-ticket offers, affiliate links, right, doing the referral thing, like I'll email your list if you email mine. And then when people did respond, she was like chasing down email subscribers, or when she did have sales calls, she was just like trying to remember everyone and like manifest them in. It sounds messy, but it's what most coaches are doing. So we had to fix this. Same thing goes if you're doing webinars. This is what Leslie was up to. So Leslie was hosting monthly healthy hypnosis hours, and at the beginning, those live events or those webinars did get her some clients. But as she moved out of her warm market, and the people that she knew had either worked with her or sent her referrals and already like known what she was up to, she ended up trying to create all these other sexy funnels and tech things to just make the event better and look better. But she was leaking $12,000 in expenses to her team, hosting these events and no longer signing clients from them. The same people kept attending, they couldn't afford her help, so she's again stuck giving all this free value, wasting her energy, and she just had this mess of like links and recordings and different ways to host it, and like Kajabi and Go High Level and ClickFunnels and just like so many messy things. And she thought, I just have to keep creating more of these. Like the next thing I make, this one will work. But if we keep doing either of these, just make content or just have events to nurture people, it inevitably damages our confidence in how to show up because we don't trust ourselves as a business owner. So we start falling for these scam solutions like just go monetize your podcast or start a YouTube channel, right? This is how we get that technology graveyard, and it feels like none of it's going to work, but we've made all of this stuff. Well, just like me, you might get sucked into shiny things like 50K masterminds that totally drain your energy, tell you to, again, just go do these little things that keep you busy and land you in credit card debt. So you're going to be burnt out if you just keep trying to do more of this, but you don't actually focus on making a difference in getting clients. So here's how CEOs nurture strangers into clients. This isn't about more content. This isn't about more following up on emails or hosting webinars. We educate and engage folks so that they like us. We know we need to nurture them to get them into that know, like, and trust factor. But today, information is everywhere. We have food blogs, we have plenty of free events that we can attend, and attention spans are shorter. So if they don't find a reason to like and connect with you, as soon as they join your world, they forget about you. This is why sales cycles are long, and it can feel like leads are cold towards you, or you're getting weird vibes, even from like your existing community on social media. So what we're going to be making are sales assets. But first, I want you to just take a little walk down Imagination Station with me, and imagine it's midday, and you're walking down the street to get some fresh air from your stressful corporate job. And then a guy named Chris walks up to you, offers you a free sample of his new iced coffee. You take a sip and you feel better instantly. He totally makes your day. Then he hands you a business card with a 50% off coupon and tells you exactly how to come back and use it when you want to come back to the store. Chances are you're going to remember the name of that brand. You know and like them from that free sample. And you are more likely to stop by that store because you remember how good it made you feel, plus he told you exactly how to come back and use the services. So they alleviated the pain and they showed you what to do next. Now imagine that you have a Chris who's able to create this experience for every single person the minute they come into your world. So whether it's from an ad or a connection request, or if you are doing an event and they come in and meet you and they get that free sample, okay? I know coffee and coaching are very different. This is not a perfect analogy, but keep walking down this lane with me. I want you to think about if you had an ability to give people that little sample, how much faster you'd be able to get clients that actually want to work with you. This is what we do, and this is why we create sales assets. Assets because you create them once and they're going to keep rewarding you time and time again. Not just one post, not just one event, but something that's a true asset to your business. And there are actually 3 types of sales assets that we're going to create for you so you can be handing out those free samples, okay? The coffees, if you will. So I took a screenshot here so you can see where they actually live, and if you were walking down the street and Chris came up, like what it would look like to get this sort of thing in our system. So the first type is the manifesto, and this is going to go like as a longer link. We use it in Instagram bios. And this is what I just want to say, this is why we like to use social media, is because we can see all of these things at once and organize them. This also works on LinkedIn, and you're going to want these same things whether you've got text subscribers or an email list. Again, just giving you the visual so you can see the manifesto is this like core piece of content that we want to send people to. Then we're going to have authority pieces of content, and then finally there are engagement pieces of content that are sales assets, not just content. So yeah, like I said, it makes it easy for people to find all of your assets at once on something like an Instagram profile. But yes, every piece can be used wherever you have an audience. So let's talk first about the manifesto. We also call it an evergreen VSL, video sales letter. No one knows your program better than you, and you are always going to be your best salesperson. So imagine if you had a clone of yourself who works 24 hours of the day selling people on why they need to pay for your program. That is your manifesto, your unpaid salesman, your Chris out on the street. So we implemented this for Leslie, and she signed 3 new clients within the first week of releasing it. Here she is celebrating her first enrollment, love that the VSL was magic, and the crazy part about it was that one of these people actually found her on Google search. And they were expecting to pay $150 for the hour for a hypnosis or a coaching session. And so it was always like an uphill battle when website people came in for Leslie. But instead of just taking the $150, she sent them the manifesto, and the woman paid $4,500, right? So huge quantum leap in being able to shift people's beliefs and being able to educate them into a buying decision. And these VSLs are a lot like coaching, right? Just like in coaching, you're constantly, inspiring people to make the right next decision. VSLs and our manifesto is designed to inspire people into their right decision about your coaching program based on education. So yeah, she sent the manifesto. She created that law of reciprocity. The woman felt so relieved by all the pain that she solved in that video. She showed up, paid in full, $4,500 in new cash. And this is purely evergreen. So Leslie's now not sitting behind a bunch of opt into my webinar, come to the right Zoom link, click the right button, and then you get to experience my manifesto. No, this is purely evergreen, so she doesn't need to be showing up live for any of those kind of talks or running complicated webinars or putting together a whole summit and event stacking. Of course, you can still do PR, and if you love doing events or you love having a podcast, that's amazing things to add on top of this. But at least now you don't have to wait until that goes live or people show up and make the decision 2 weeks from now before you're able to sign a client. The third piece of content we're going to want to make sure that you have on hand is what we call authority core content. And these images, posts, videos, whatever we end up making based on your personality and your business, separate you from the rest of these people who make really big claims and can't back it up. Like I'm saying, this era of the guru marketer who acts like a coach, but are they a real coach? Here your potential clients can see that you're capable of transforming lives through what other people you've helped and your own personal story. So these are things like case studies and your story and before and after pictures. Again, things you may have already on your marketing plate, but are we putting it together in a strategic way and using them to educate your audience on the regular? Because when we do, we're able to trigger a lot of FOMO because people want to benefit from what everyone else is enjoying. People want to buy. They just don't want to be sold to. So let them start reaching out to you by positioning your authority core content. And finally, this is what most people just want to do. They just want to go get engagement and put out call to actions and shake a couple people out of the bushes. And the way that we do this actually moves into the O part of our system, the offer, where we give people the chance to reach out to us and start conversations. Because with coaching, every sale starts with a conversation. So we do want to invite people to take that next step and to ask essentially for a sales call. So here we're going to trigger messages. Here we're going to craft messages that trigger responses from your audience. I'm a psych major. There's a lot of human psychology that goes into this. But strategically, we're going to post them on social media as either images or 10-second reels, promising a valuable resource we know they want. So again, if you do have lead magnets or you have created valuable quizzes in the past that are actually going to be helpful, then we get to use those in this type of content. So we made one of these for our client, Leslie, on a Tuesday morning. And I said, let's run this text this week. This went out to her text subscribers, just letting people know we've added this. This is what it is. The result after 3 days of sending out this text message was that 37 people said yes. Can you possibly imagine how many clients can come from that? I'll leave that to your imagination, but remember, Leslie's at consistent 50K months. And this comes not just because you can blast out a text or take one of these things and run with it. You could do that a few times, and there's plenty of gurus telling you, just go post these and you'll make some fast cash. But when it lives inside of a bigger system, and you know that you can turn this on whenever you want because you have new people finding you every single day thanks to your connection messages, and they're engaging with some of your other evergreen sales assets like your manifesto, your authority core content, and now the call to actions come, it becomes much more like inviting people and much less like chasing them down. Are you seeing how this is working? So how we do this with you, because you might have tried this and you might have posted something like this in the past, but we need to make sure that it's actually going to work, right? So same thing here. We do it with one-on-one education. We'll again give you some videos so you can understand the whole content process. Then we'll have a one-on-one manifesto call where we script out that evergreen sales asset with you one-on-one. That's a one and done lift. Okay, your manifesto can honestly run for a year once we write it and you have it on your hands. Leslie got 3 clients in the first week. She continues to use it and had 40 sales calls in total last month. So that gets done. Then every single week, you're going to sit down and have a call one-on-one with your assigned content consultant, and there you'll be able to script out the other things you want to have out and about, like the authority core content and those engagement or call to action contents. So all you have to do is take the document from that call and sit and make it. Most of our clients are just like sitting in front of a video and doing a lot of their content just like straight to camera. You might do some lifestyle stuff, or you might want to, create some before and after images. But we repurpose this content. We make sure you have an omnipresence. So again, this doesn't just optimize your Instagram and your LinkedIn, but you can be running with this in email, text message, wherever you have an audience. So you're learning how to make strategic marketing content, not just free food blogs, with us every single week one-on-one by doing it. Right? Action brings clarity. You just watching this in a course or learning about it how someone else does it is never going to be as valuable as it is to get your own hands in your own dirt and do this with us. And that's why we built our program this way, so you'll have those weekly calls with your content consultant. So that you don't have to be going out and taking a bunch of sales calls cold style. They have heard nothing about you, but you have this whole ecosystem of them to get educated through. And you'll be creating raving fans who understand your value all day, every day. It's actually amazing how many of my existing clients love my YouTube videos because they get so much out of it, even though they're already a paying client. And this is the kind of value that we want you to be creating as well, which is going to create that community of raving fans who know, love, and trust you. So that you get to be in that position of a CEO, really just enrolling people into your program, not convincing them, because they show up to the call already having consumed and seen and learned so much from you. That is our goal, and we're going to talk about how we get into this with the offering section next. But here's Nikki, okay? So she's got her VSL and her profiles are optimized with our content, and she's celebrating 3 new clients and the fact she's doing something that she finally loves. She's backpacking and playing in the waterfalls with her kids. She has the freedom, and she's able to work with clients, and she's getting new clients. This is the dream life and what's possible when you put these puzzle pieces together. So let's talk about offering, the last piece of this puzzle for now. And if you did everything right, you're already going to have people reaching out to you, right? You're already seeing that clients are coming in through this system. You just have to talk to them. And this is where we're going to talk about that conversation and the actually enrolling. So in the old way, let's remember what we need to stop doing. The old ways told us to just, in the bro marketing, it's like cold DMs, pitch, outreach, get people on a call, walk them through your sales framework, but it ends up being a waste of time. And again, you're just that salesperson draining your energy and having a really hard time closing more than 20% of those conversations you're having anyway. Or if you're just over there hosting events and leaving everything up to some godly funnel, then you're expecting that people are going to take all of these little steps along the way and click all of the right buttons. And as I mentioned, this is like the NASA thing, where it takes a ton of initial work and tech to launch something, and we hope that this Kajabi thing all fires perfectly this time, and it may or may not blow up in our faces. So there's no guarantee that anyone's going to show up. We're giving away a bunch of free value that we don't know is going to convert into sales or not, and we're not positioned uniquely. So none of these things actually help us make offers, actually help us sell. So the way that we do this is simple. A lot of people overcomplicate this, but remember, all we're doing here is sending out that engagement post and asking people to raise their hand. Permission-based selling. So once people say, yes, this is something I want, then we offer them an application or a sales call. So for those 37 folks, for Leslie, she would do something like we're doing here. Someone raised their hand and I said, hey, I can send over a calendar link for this offer that I put out in content. Yep, sounds great. I sent that. She found a time. I was reviewing her application, and I at the same time said, hey, here's another sales asset. I had her watch my manifesto here to make sure that she was going to see that before the sales call, that evergreen sales asset. So that then I'm able to look at her application, and if they feel like dream clients, hop on the call and enroll them. I keep hearing from so many clients that their sales calls have completely changed because people just show up and they're like, oh my God, what you said on your video, like all these things, right? They come up in such a more open space. Because even just like coaches have been burned by marketing agencies, humans have been burned by coaches. And so they start showing up to you much differently after they've seen your video. And if they're not a good fit, great. Don't enroll them. You are in the seat of abundance. That is the point of being a CEO coach. Cancel that call if the application doesn't look good. So it's very simple and straightforward to be making offers every day. And this is some bro marketing advice, but it would be nice to have if you could be every single day making offers on autopilot because your content is working for you. And you can flip the switch and do it yourself, getting out those engagement posts because it hardly feels like selling. Now, I will say that when you have a lot of leads coming in, you are going to want to hand this over to that commission-based salesperson or an appointment setter because you aren't going to have time to be replying to everyone in the DMs. Like when Leslie had those 37 people coming in, we definitely set her up with a commission-based salesperson that we find and train and help you with, but that's a good problem to have. So commission-based means that these are trained salespeople who help you manage your messages and make sure people get onto your calendar link, and then you only pay them when you have enrolled the client and been paid. So now you are actually a CEO, and you can fill up your calendar with qualified leads because you have a real audience of raving fans, right? 3K, 3 more calls booked, knowing what to say and how to say it really helps, right? Knowing how to actually have your marketing message dialed in. Nick Frick here, sent an email on Saturday, got 2 people to book calls right away, highest open rate. So we're also able now to sign new clients just for being ourselves and doing things like going to the beach here. So 2 more clients from that bikini post that we helped her do. So pumped. The customer reached out from a video testimonial and signed after watching it. This is the power of these sales assets. Your sales calls also become like butter, so you can be enrolling multiple clients even in a day. So now you see the full solution. And exactly how we guarantee 3 to 5 new clients per month to coaches. And you can finally see how to put all of those disjointed ideas and this thing and this blog together in a way that doesn't require you to live online, sell your soul with icky tactics, join these expensive masterminds or try to put it all together yourself, or worse, hire a team that you have to manage and pay every single week. But if you could do this all yourself, you probably already would have. Again, this isn't new information. This is about putting it all together with marketing strategy. So you're a coach. You know how minds work. You know how decisions happen. You know what happens when you make a decision to change your life and do better. So now that you know the difference between just being a coach who's worried about leads and being an actual CEO who sits in the receptive mode and runs a business like a well-oiled machine or a humming machine, and you want your business to make it into 2025, and you want to be able to still have people coming to you, even as the guru marketers are going to continue to expand, then you have 2 options to make this happen. The first one is, of course, DIY. You can do this by yourself, just as you have been. Try to put these puzzle pieces together. But again, from coaching, you know, doing it yourself ends up being slower, full of more mistakes, expensive, and painful. It's hard to do these things, especially when you're a coach. So don't be discouraged if you take this route, especially if you're doing this for the first time ever. It is a new thing, and you will have to learn a lot along the way. It took me a long time and a lot of pain to perfect this myself. But if you want speed, and you actually can't afford to wait any longer, and you don't have the resources to keep doing this yourself, then we can do it together. You know it'll be faster, less mistakes, cheaper in the long run, and so exciting. You're going to be working with us, having a team, feeling supported, knowing exactly what to do day in and day out together. And week 1, we're going to sit down one-on-one and make sure that you nail that messaging. What is your one thing? What problems do you solve? We're going to make sure that you're speaking directly to a profitable target market so that you can script your ad and start connections. By week 2, then we'll go ahead and turn on those 9x connections either with ads or our software on LinkedIn, so that by week 3, your energy and genius comes to that manifesto call where you're going to write with us and produce your evergreen manifesto, video sales letter. By week 4, we're going to be having connections happening, we're going to have your manifesto, and then we'll likely be onboarding that setter, that commission-based salesperson for you, so you can build out your sales systems. Then we're going to go to the top of funnel. So you can see we build in reverse, so that by week 5, you're scripting that content with our content team for those top of funnel things like your authority posts and your engagement posts. By week 6, you'll be getting the SOPs for all systems, not just sales, so that you are seeing how this can be that humming machine for you with or without us. And that's just our first month or 2 working together, but we have plenty of time to keep optimizing and scaling you for profitability. So if this feels like what you want, and you do want that one-on-one help to nail your messaging, grow your audience, and finally, just know where your clients are coming from, and be enrolling those 3 to 5 new people every single month, then let's talk, okay? So either me or someone from my team are available to be hosting a few of these growth sessions in the coming weeks. This is going to be a 45-minute Zoom call where we'll diagnose where you are and see if we can help you. Sometimes our systems don't work, and we'll be totally transparent. We usually find it in the application. If not, that's our whole goal, is to see if this is going to work for you or not. And if it is going to work for you, then we'll map out your action plan and implement the evergreen CEO systems for you. This is going to be the most valuable 45 minutes of your whole year, because you're finally going to see how to put all of this marketing stuff together once and for all. But sadly, this is not for everyone. So due to our schedule, we can only do 15 of these calls per week. So we only accept applications and take the calls of people who truly qualify and are going to be the right fit for this. So you do need to have a proven track record of getting clients results. More time, energy, weight loss, better relationships, money. We need to know what it is you are able to help people with. Then you also need to know that you do have a lot of value to give, but you need to be doing it in a more sustainable way. Plus, you also need to know that it's time to stop being the best kept secret and finally claim your space in this evolving coaching landscape, and be willing to be this thought leader that the future needs. So if you do fit this criteria above, click the link and make sure you book in that call. Definitely doesn't hurt to apply. We'll take a look at your responses and let you know. If you're not a good fit, no problem. We'll still give you some free resources and insights into how we've been able to generate over 1.4 million in 2023 for our clients. But if you do apply and we accept your application, then we'll be asking you to show up and be ready to get to work on your growth call. We do have a strict ghosting policy, so you can only schedule this once. If you're gonna try to hop in and out of our calendar, that's not gonna be possible. Totally understand, like if life happens and you need to reschedule, but you must show up to your time or let us know that you need to reschedule ahead of time. Because we want to make sure that we're only working with people who are serious and willing to put this entire thing together once and for all, and not just be a great coach, but actually start running a great business that guarantees people results, changes lives, saves humanity, all the amazing things that I love coaches do, but do it as a CEO. I hope to talk with you soon.